So hello everyone and welcome. I'm delighted to be in conversation today with Manish as we look ahead to the Embodying Leadership Social Presence in Theatre Foundations program happening in Taiwan from October 31st to November 2nd this year. I'm calling you from Budapest, Hungary, and I'm looking forward to actually having this conversation with Manish. We haven't spoken in a while since last year when I joined the program. I'm based in Singapore usually, so this is kind of interesting to have this conversation to give you a sense of the heart of SPT, what it means to be embodying leadership, and how this 3-day program might support your own journey of awareness and creative action. I'll be guiding our dialogue through a few themes. Manish, personal journey with SPT, what participants can expect in Taiwan, stories on transformation from the field, and finally an invitation to consider whether this program might be for you. With that, let's begin with an introduction from Manish about who he is and a short intro from him.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. First of all, I'm very grateful to you for taking out this time and hosting this conversation from Budapest on different time zones. So very grateful. I'm Manish Srivastava, and I am a senior faculty and co-director of Social Presencing Theatre with Presencing Institute. And my journey with this work, I was recalling, started, I think, somewhere in 2008 when I went on a sabbatical to MIT in US. And in the very first week, I happened to meet Arawana. And we went on a dialogue walk on River Charles. And I think that walk is still going on. So that's a journey we started and we still continue. And then I started learning from her, became her apprentice, and over the period of time started learning and became a teacher of this work and have been bringing social presencing theater in all the systems change, leadership coaching, leadership development work around the world. And it has really empowered me personally as a facilitator, as a coach, as a helper, because what I do is not telling others what to do, but helping them discover their own embodied wisdom, the wisdom of their body, of their social body, of the earth body. And in doing so, there is joy, there is fun, there is creativity, and a possibility to create an impact in the world in unassuming ways. And that's what has kept me going. And another thing that keeps me going is this work has brought me across amazing people, just like you, Michael. We met in last program, and such a precious relationship, because in doing this work, we connect with each other in such deep humanity that is otherwise impossible, because we let go of all facade, all roles, all everything, all the masks, and we connect as human in very mindful and embodied way. So that's what keeps me going.
That's really beautiful to hear, Manish. I remember, I think most importantly, in this river you're describing, right, your presence especially was very powerful. When I first met you actually in Taiwan, and actually before that we had met online, but I think it was a bit difficult to connect online when we first did the sessions. And I remember very clearly how much your presence, both the online session was able to come through the screen, and then when meeting you in person in Taiwan was really beautiful because I got to see you work in the circle of so many people together and bring us forward into what it means to work in this world, right? In a very complicated world today. Maybe a question around the program, right? The program is about embodying leadership to discover our creative potential. How does it mean for you, right? Embodying leadership in this SPT context, especially in today's world.
The term embodying leadership actually came in a conversation between Crystal Jace, me, and some other people from Taiwan and our region. And that was in response to that what do leaders most need today is to access the wisdom from their own bodies to become fully present in wherever they are, to have this deep sense of alignment and integrity between what they feel, what they experience, and what the ecosystem is asking from them. And so embodying leadership is that, can the leader fully inhabit their own body, their own context, their own reality, and then show up in service in spite of the challenges, the complexity that we are facing today. So embodying leadership in that sense is two things, actually accessing the wisdom of the body and also fully inhabiting that wisdom to live that fully in the complex challenges that we face in the world. And as we see currently, Michael, there is so much propaganda, so much distraction, so much depression because of being distracted online, and there is tremendous overwhelm that everyone, every leader, be it a parent or a teacher or a consultant or a CEO or a non-profit worker, everyone feels that. And in all of that, what we are offering is a approach which allows us to turn the camera inward, to look into our own being, to develop that inner confidence which doesn't require any preconditions. And from that inner awareness, we also become aware of each other, of our relationship, of how we hold the complexity, and then that gives agency. So embodied leadership is in another way to say that this is theory you in practice, which means how do we shift our attention from outside distraction to inside resources? How do we shift our intention and then cultivate inner agency to transform our world?
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful way to describe how to kind of like turn away from distractions of the external world and go to the internal, shifting the camera. I think it's a beautiful analogy. I remember when I was first introduced to Theory U by my mentor, Pat Reed. It was a time whereby I had a lot of distractions around my business, around what was going on. And when she pointed me in this direction almost 10 years ago and finally got me to join Theory U, I joined it 2 times, finally the 2X program, and then SPT now. I find it such a wonderful way to turn that inner lens towards myself before I pay attention to the outer one. And one particular practice that I've been really curious about is called the 20-minute dance, which I've enjoyed so much, right? Every time we started a session in SPT together with you, we didn't start with, what is the expectation of today? We didn't start with all the things around us, the noise. We started with something like a 20-minute dance to ground ourselves. So that was one practice that I experienced very powerfully. What are some of the other practices that participants will experience? How might this kind of like help someone like what I went through to feel with someone who's a bit stuck and searching for a way forward? What practices do you think we might be introducing to them in the 3-day program?
Beautiful question, Michael, and great memory that you have. For me also, when I first came across Theory U, that was around 2006 or something when I was with Unilever. And it was an amazing framework to challenge our current paradigms and discover collective well-being. However, when I met Arawana and started practicing social presencing theater, I realized the embodied part of the you. The you became very real, very embodied. I could live the theory you or the you framework in every moment. So 20-minute dance, as you say, is a way of fine-tuning our body to create the synchronization between this body and this mind. And once they are synchronized, then I become more available to face the challenges of life because I'm not distracted or gone away, but I am in this body. And moment to moment, I am aware. Moment to moment, I can track that how something is ending and something new is emerging, and that's the you. So yes, that's a very foundational practice. And as people come to this work, we start with synchronizing mind and body, expanding our awareness to become aware of the social body, because that's a new vocabulary all of us have. And we do that, and as we do all of that, we then start applying it to generate insights about our current challenges. through practices like stuck, or current systems challenges through practices like 4D mapping. And these practices help us then collectively inquire into what is the beauty and potential hidden within our current challenges. How can we generate those insights and create a new reality together? So it is a practice that helps us deeply sense into our current paradigm and discover both pain and potential, which can transform our life later. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Manish. I think it's beautiful thinking about shifting that lens inwards as we look at the personal situation and then helping to connect to the system. I think has been really transformative for me as a facilitator. After the Taiwan program, I actually joined a few of the Singapore cohort, right, to actually run a few more of these SPT sessions for different topics. And we have found that it's very useful to actually move away from the language that is, and move into the non-verbal, especially the embodied wisdom that we have. And I wanted to kind of like tap into your knowledge. You have been running so many programs globally, like with Unilever. What kinds of transformations or shift have you seen participants carry into their lives or even the work after the experience with you?
Yes, I think this is the most rewarding part, that when people go through that experience, they want to show up again and again, because there is something transformative that takes place. And the first level of transformation happens individually just by doing, as you mentioned, a 20-minute dance. We become aware the tremendous source of wisdom that lies within our body. And we learn how to let go of the stories that have a grip on us to become more present. So that is one level of outcome. It generates more personal well-being and more alignment of my own mind and body. And that naturally brings well-being in everything I do. The next is that people generate insights about their work, about their role. So I hear, like, for example, working with law and justice community in India, they often tell me that they can see their role more clearly in creating a better world. So that is a very powerful insight people have. Then comes the systems level, and which you have experienced, because I remember, Michael, you bringing a case for the 4D mapping in our online program. And then Crystal and Jace, who are co-facilitators of this journey in Taiwan, they brought last time the important case around democracy in Taiwan. And I think what they do when we bring these complex collective scenarios, then we as a collective are able to attend to that collective challenge. We are able to then hold our collective attention, which in theory language we say we see and sense the system together. And that transforms the consciousness. That helps us see what is this system, this social system, this social being asking from us. What is that situation that you brought, that organization in Thailand asking from us? What is the land of Taiwan asking from us? And that kind of, in that moment, we transcend our ego selves and we become available to the ecosystem, and we operate from that collective. So in that sense, this work is both very practical and very systemic and spiritual. So that's the shift we see. Once people step out of that kind of experience, there is a different agency. I've seen a deep relationship build among them because they have been part of a journey together. They're ready to support each other. The law and justice community in India is growing stronger. They have created collaborative innovations together which were unthinkable of. For example, a 24/7 court. A government system would not do it alone. But now these people went through a journey together through social presencing theater, and they are committed to keep doing it. We have seen it in the strategy, organizational strategy transforms. Last week I was working with a non-profit working with smallholder farmers. And after doing this 4D map and social presencing theater, they became aware of their own blind spots. They said now every work should focus on youth, on earth, and on smallholder farmers. So these are the missing blind spots in every system. And if they can mobilize their energy and collective commitment towards that, we'll have a better world. That's my hope. And I'm doing this work with that hope.
Thank you, Manish. Yeah, I think the key here that you have described very clearly is about like creating that conscious awareness as a system. But I think most importantly is the well-being of the system, right? That often we don't have time to actually discuss. We are very thinking much of individual needs and maybe not having the time to actually present that well-being of the whole system as a unified as a voice together. And I think this is something really interesting for those of you who are interested to attend. And I was really surprised when I joined, right, with being a case giver in the online session, because I had not expected that people who are not working together with me totally had no exposure to the world that I was interacting with for over 10 years, representing somebody who has been doing the work for 30 over years. How would people in the room know about this system? But just by the fact that I described the case, people heard it, and then they brought their wisdom of what they have learned before into the system, was able to help move me forward. And since then, I've connected really, really well with people like Crystal and Jace and participants in the group. Later on in Singapore, I met people who understood the language. And now we're carrying this agency forward into bringing other case givers into the fold, right? And I think that was the thing that surprised me a lot. What do you think for you, right, Manish? What do you think will surprise people when they join the program?
Thank you, Michael, and thank you for bringing your story. That really reflects that how this work can benefit someone from very different sector and very different fields, and that's our testimony, right? So, to those people who are joining in new, I think what would really be of benefit would be one to first to take out time from our regular patterns of engaging with systems or challenges, but to take a step out, attend to your own body, your own being, your own awareness, and then generate new insights about your challenges. And often what surprises people when they come is, first of all, that my body has a mind of its own. This is what we hear often, that my body has mind of its own, and there is so much there below this, below my neck. There is so much more wisdom available. So that is one surprising thing. And then connecting with yourself, being attended by others. When others engage with you, you feel being attended by others in the most genuine, pure, and loving way. And when we receive that kind of loving attention, something in us flourishes. It just transforms, it just heals. And that's second thing that is surprising, that can we makes a genuine relation with such limited vocabulary, non-verbally, non-linearly, and the play. It's so playful. There is a respectful play. We honor each other's boundary, but we are also continuously spontaneous, creative, and discovering new dimensions of our life. So that will also surprise. And maybe many of us who are coming from as coaches and facilitators and practitioners may develop a completely new vocabulary, tool set, and approach to transforming their work, to actually helping their clients in ways that they were not able to do it before. And we have also seen, Michael, like you are our example, that leaders like you who are actually going ahead and making transformation in private sector as well as social sector, they find a new way of showing up fully, and being able to bring their work into the world. And I'll say one more thing that will be surprising, which is the team. I mean, a couple of us, including you, Crystal, Jace, will be holding it together, and the love and care that this team brings transforms me. The artwork, the scribing, the generative scribing, and the social artwork that Jace brings is a gift. It adds an additional layer to what Crystal and I are bringing as social presencing theater practitioner, and what you are bringing, Michael, from your experience. So all of this put together creates a very powerful social arts experience, which generates personal insights, systems insights, and insights that you can apply as practitioner.
So thank you, Manish, for sharing your journey and insights with us. So really, for those of you who are listening, the SPT program that is going to take place in Taiwan in the beautiful Mabuville from October 31st to November 2nd, you're going to bring something towards kind of like what you're going to be doing. If the body is kind of like sensing into this conversation, is feeling a bit excited about the play coming up, it's both a very visual, like what you described with Jay, it's a very visual journey together with us. It's going to be an embodied movement, very playful. And I think most importantly is the connections you will find in this group. If it's something that is sparking in you, we invite you to join us in this next step forward from moving from stuck to flow into a deeper practice of leadership. So we hope to see you in Taiwan. I'm looking forward to meeting Manish again 1 year later with Crystal and Jace in Taiwan. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you. Thank you
See
so
everyone.
much, Mike.
Thank you.
Everyone.